Donald Trump wants you to believe that the fight is already over, that we've been defeated, and that there's no way to push back against his push for control. But that's simply not the case. Every single day, Trump is facing legal setbacks. His approval ratings continue to drop, and the truth is, we can and will win this fight, especially when it comes to free speech. After Trump pushed for the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel last night, he was immediately hit with a major legal challenge that completely shifts the conversation and is exposing this attack on expression. We're going to break it all down for you, but before we dive in, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like on this video. And if you're new here and enjoy our content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It truly helps us keep bringing you the coverage that matters. Now, before we get into that legal battle and why Trump's team is scrambling, let's start with what I think was the perfect response to this attack on free speech from J.B. Pritzker, right here. MAGA movement often means embracing contradictions. If you're willing to abandon your own stated values, much like J.D. Vance seems to do regularly, then fitting into that world becomes easy. The truth is, many of these figures don't actually care about free speech. They never have. And it's important to stop pretending that they're engaging in good faith. We've even seen people on the left start to elevate Charlie Kirk, with commentators like Ezra Klein suggesting he cared about free expression or did politics the right way. But that's simply not accurate. Kirk built his platform on college campuses to generate profit and viral clips, not to protect speech. His focus was spreading divisive ideas, not defending the rights of others. He never spoke up for people like Mahmoud Khalil, who now faces deportation under Donald Trump's direction simply for raising his voice against a humanitarian crisis that U.S. tax dollars are connected to. That's proof these leaders are not true defenders of free speech. And that's why it's no surprise Donald Trump reacted the way he did to Jimmy Kimmel.
On a separate issue, free speech, your Vice President Vance said that free speech is under attack in the UK. Do you agree with him? And Prime Minister, we saw the dismissal of a very well-known chat show host in America last night, Mr. Kimmel. Is free speech more under attack in Britain or America?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
Of course, it's because of his ratings. The tanking ratings. The ratings are low. You know what rating is really low right now? Donald Trump's approval rating. That's what's tanking. That is what's in the "it is not Jimmy Kimmel." This is so obvious. This administration could not care less about any of the ideas that they talked about as being fundamental on the campaign. The weaponization of government. That is all Donald Trump has done. The caring about the crisis of affordability. Inflation is skyrocketing because of idiotic tariffs that are effectively taxes on working people. And now they want to make Charlie Kirk, that disgusting bigot, some martyr so that they can carry out the rest of this project. No, we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to accept defeat. Maybe that's what ABC wants to do, and ahead of time concede and say, oh, the Trump administration's going to come after us. We might as well concede. But we're not going to do that. We're going to fight back, and so is Robert Garcia and Eric Swalwell with some legal bombshells for Trump. Ranking member Robert Garcia launches investigation after ABC fires Jimmy Kimmel. Network caves to political pressure from Trump administration. Representative Robert Garcia, ranking member of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, released the following statement announcing he will be launching an investigation into the Trump administration ABC in Sinclair amid ongoing efforts to censor opposition to the president. Garcia said, every American has a duty to stand up for our First Amendment values. We will not be silent as our freedoms are threatened by corrupt schemes and threats. Anyone who is complicit will need to answer to us. And Eric Swalwell threatened a lawsuit with this clip right here.
So I want to make it clear, there's going to be a Democratic majority in just over a year. And to the FCC chairperson and anyone involved in these dirty deals, get a lawyer and save your records, because you're going to be in this room and you're going to be answering questions about the deals that you struck and who benefited and what the cost was to the American people because that happened. I want to now move.
This is exactly what I mean. We cannot keep bowing down or admitting defeat before the fight even begins. It is always worth standing up and pushing back on every issue that matters. For a long time, I've felt that our side, especially Democrats, needs to step up and show that they truly care. Too often, when an issue doesn't poll well, the instinct is to say, maybe we should avoid that one. But that's the wrong approach. If you believe your policies will make people's lives better, then don't hide them. Stand by them. Don't just look at polls or corporate pressure. Your job as an elected leader is to govern, not to serve special interests. Even if a position starts out unpopular, work to make it popular. That's what leadership is. Think about how far we've come on so many issues in just the past decade, even while Donald Trump and his allies have worked to roll back rights. Public opinion shifted because people were willing to speak up, have tough conversations, and stand firm. That's exactly what we need to keep doing. Accountability is essential, not just writing letters, but holding hearings, putting people under oath, and making sure that when wrongdoing is uncovered, there are real consequences. That's how trust in democracy is restored. We cannot keep saying, let's wait for the right political fight. Every fight matters right now. When dealing with authoritarianism, if you give an inch, it will take a mile. That's why leaders like Robert Garcia and Eric Swalwell deserve credit for making it clear we cannot bend, cannot retreat, and cannot excuse this behavior as just Trump being Trump. We must show the American people why these fights matter and why democracy itself is at stake. For too long, the right has convinced many Americans that they care more about free speech. But how is that playing out now? Not very well. The truth is, public opinion can shift dramatically when people speak out and raise awareness. Look at how views have changed regarding Gaza. More and more Americans are recognizing the humanitarian crisis and questioning why our tax dollars are being spent in ways that contribute to that tragedy. That change in perspective came because people shared the truth, raised their voices, and made sure the conversation could not be ignored. That's how you change minds. That's how you change policy. And that's why we cannot stay silent. We have to speak up, stand strong, and keep fighting back. And leaders like J.B. Pritzker are showing exactly what that looks like. Independent creators like myself and many others here on YouTube are under pressure just like you. We don't know exactly what Donald Trump and his allies might try next. Could they attempt to influence platforms to silence voices that challenge them? Could they try to intimidate or make examples out of people who speak up? We can't say for sure, but what we do know is this: we will not stop. We will continue to speak out, to hold this administration accountable, and to fight for truth and democracy. If we can do that as creators, then we need our elected leaders to do the same. Now is not the moment for silence. It is the moment to be louder than ever. That's exactly what we'll keep doing on this channel. And if you want to support that effort, please take a moment to hit the subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and drop a blue heart in the comments to show you're with us. And until next time, thank you for standing with us, and I will see you soon.